does it for me. Strip away, sweet, the varnish of sleep. Minting, imprinting this part of me. Breakfast with you, here you go. Truth, utter nonsense, do it with me. With tethered tongue signal, splendor of sleep. Vocalize, still I cry. This part of me I know. This you know, this I know. Breakfast with you. Sunrise does it for me. Fire infused with color, with dream. Blazing, reglazing this part of me. Breakfast with you, here you go. Does it for me, service supreme, me suffering, sleep, feeding, indeed I am this part of me. I know, this I know, this I know. Breakfast with you. This, thank you, does it for me, sugarcane, rain, spice up the dream, addicting, uplifting this part of me. Spearmint, here you go. Sunrise, here you go. Nonsense, here we go. Thank you, here I go. Welcome to July 2012 here on Conversations with Dog. I'm your host, Greg Allen, and I'm here with my best friend and creative partner, Alice, the Canine Messiah. Yes, Dog is my co-creator. We will continue this month to look again at equality through Alice's lens of Unifying Vision, and since it is July here in Mr. Jefferson's hometown, we will consider how the recognition of equality relates to the opportunity to govern ourselves. Later in the show, we'll head out on the road less travels. Our friend Les is more caught up with professional art wrangler Michael Geisert down at City Clay in Charlottesville. So we'll drop in with Les while Michael works in the studio and then shows us a few of his creations that have been on display down at City Clay. Hop in, here we go. I have heard it said that a fairly clear indicator of insanity is the tendency to do the same thing again and again and again while expecting a different result. And I have wondered for some time now if this is perhaps the case with voting here in America. It has become arguably insane to truly expect that elected leaders are going to offer up anything more than what we have come to know. Now, this is intended as a positive observation, an inspiring one that makes total sense and truly opens the doors of opportunity, because here in America, it is not up to our leaders to bring about a different societal result. Fortunately, here in America, it is up to us, we the people, the collective I. You see, that's the beautiful thing about America. We are free to govern ourselves and ultimately to live our idea of what it means to be a model citizen in a model society. Meaningful change, individual and societal, is the result of an evolved perspective upon one's world and what it presents. In June, we spoke about the common dream of humanity, which Alice the Canine Messiah refers to as the dream of just as I am. We all wish to be listened to, loved, supported, accepted, just as we be. Here, now, in the moment of human encounter. And we also shared with you in June what Alice calls the one exercise, to help you begin to adjust your perspective on the world to one that sees the essence of human equality. For this dream of being equal, of being free to be just as I am, is not only the common dream of humanity, it is also the original, the authentic American dream, the one set forth in the Declaration of Independence. Remember? The declaration that at once set us apart from the world and united us as a country of opportunity some 236 years ago. It was a declaration based upon our clear recognition of the equality of all mankind, a declaration that we intend to govern ourselves. Let's clarify, for this is important. No one wrote that we have a hunch that all men might be equal. No one signed off on a wish that all men could be equal. It was stated very clearly that we see it. It is so. This statement of clear recognition is the foundation of our independence. So the recognition of equality is the key that gets the motor of true self-government running, so to speak. But most people do not seem to see equality, nor consider themselves equal these days. And so, as individuals and as a society, we place a great deal of hope in the act of voting. We hope that in the future we will get lucky and elect leaders who will bring about equality for us. In other words, we're trying to elect officials who would govern the way we would if we were in charge. We are hoping to elect officials who will self-govern us as we would self-govern ourselves, given the freedom. Oh wait, we have been given the freedom. So you see, I was inclined towards sincerity when I said I am beginning to suspect that voting in America has become a symptom of insanity. Many of us hold out hope that if we give votes to so-called leaders, they will eventually lead us somewhere desirable. In much the same way that if we give Microsoft Office to monkeys, they will eventually produce Wikipedia. This mindset of looking to someone else for the fulfillment of a personal dream reminds me that recently I heard someone ask a musician if he was a bit disillusioned that so many ideals of the 60s are still ideals. And he gave that cliched response that goes something like, no, if even one child was spared the horrors of whatever it was we were complaining about, well, then it was all worthwhile. But this rang hollow with me somehow, and even more so when it occurred to me later that we have added some 4 billion people to the planet since the 1960s. One child. Really? We are happy that this might be the best we can do? But we thought and acted in the 60s like we think and act today. That if we complain long enough and loud enough to our political and corporate leaders, as well as about these leaders, then they will bring about our vision. And so we complain, and we protest, and we point fingers, and we occupy, and we cast our votes about, hoping that eventually they will self-govern us as we would self-govern ourselves, given the freedom. Well, Alice and I do not hold out hope for an elected, appointed, or legislated better future because, as we showed you last month, the future is an unreal thing, an idea. Our only hope for equality-based freedom to self-govern lies with each of us. Here, now, because collective self-government is the sum total of individual self-government. Now, here's an interesting thing that came to my attention recently. Charlottesville, Virginia, is the home of the man who authored the Declaration of Independence. And Charlottesville is also the first town in the Commonwealth of Virginia to adopt prohibition back in the day. That is to say that Mr. Jefferson's hometown was the first in Virginia to vote back the freedom to self-govern with respect to alcohol. "We, the people, are going to govern ourselves," wrote Thomas. No, we are not, voted the people of his town, and they gave their independence away. And look at something as simple as traffic laws. I mean, there is this argument that goes around that everyone should vote because voting is a social responsibility. But what about traffic laws? Let's just take speed limits. Is it not also socially responsible to adhere to agreed upon speed limits? I mean, they've come into being by virtue of our system of government. In other words, we indirectly voted for the standing speed limits. This is how it works here in America. Yet, how many people who wear that little sticker every 4 years that says, "I voted," could also legitimately wear a sticker every day that says, "I chose to obey the speed limits"? How many of us rely upon the police to govern our speeding for us? Try walking with your small dog on a rural road in Albemarle County. On our fairly narrow road, the speed limit is 35 miles an hour. But I cannot tell you how many people come blasting down our road at speeds of 50 and 55, talking on the cell phone, and they don't slow down, and they don't move over as they go past us. And I wonder, would they drive this way if it were their spouse, walking their child in their neighborhood? You see, we are back to the recognition of equality in day-to-day human encounters, and how this recognition of equality might just bring about the world that we keep voting for. Now, mind you, Alice and I are not complaining. We applaud everyone's right to be just as you be. You are free to speed. Our point is to observe and perhaps promote some productive personal inquiry into precisely what this independence to self-govern in the light of equality is all about. Do we really need government-mandated sidewalks, for example, to ensure that our interactions with pedestrians are safe? Or can we simply self-govern in the moment of encounter, reducing speed and creating space in order to ensure mutual safety? And our deeper point is this. Imagine a country wherein everyone who is eligible to vote chooses to do so. Now, imagine a country wherein everyone that drives a vehicle chooses to obey every speed limit every time they drive. Imagine. Because the freedom to self-govern is not about electing others to govern us. Voting is not a way to legislate the day-to-day aspects of humanity, equality, fairness, getting along. Alice and I suggest that you look again at the freedoms that you might be voting away. And not just traffic or liquor laws. What about compassion, fairness, equality, the dream of just as I am? Clearly, it is insane to think that we can elect someone to legislate a vision that we claim to have. to mandate behavior that we desire from ourselves. Our opportunity is to begin with the recognition of equality and then elect public servants to serve this recognition as well as our tendency towards humanity. The American opportunity is to begin with ourselves, to see ourselves equal and work outward from here. For it is always the personal dialogue that must evolve before the collective dialogue can do so. Whether it is a dialogue on equality, or fairness, or compassion, or just as I am.
God knows I continue to try. God is the track that I'm on, His belief.
And so, perhaps now, you have a more clear sense of why it might be fun and beneficial even to take the recognition of equality upon yourself, especially if you have some interest in the American dream of self-government and the human dream of just as I am. And this is why Alice and I have offered up the one exercise, a simple, direct way into the unifying vision that founded our country, this clear recognition and declaration of equality. We offer up the one exercise that you might uplift yourself and those around you everywhere by seeing yourself equal. It is a most rewarding step in the direction of individual and collective sanity. Thanks for riding along. Greetings, folks, and welcome to The Road Less Travels. I'm your host, Less Is More. You know, out here on the road less travels, it's not right and it's not wrong. It's just the way we do it. So think about it and enjoy the ride, 'cause you're the driver.
Something that you just can't do better. He said it's only your attention that keeps you together. Say it not if you're gonna want it back. He said time presses on a one-way track.
Working on a large tray. So this is a drawing. I did a variation of the smaller one that I'm actually working out the feet right now. The slab itself. So I already did a stack of clay so I can cut some feet out. Without shoes, though they fell apart when I left the path. They were shoes when I got back. Yeah, they fit better when go ahead and cut this one out. This is really thick. A little difficult to cut, but I'll manage. Being a bird, for where you are's the only place that you can stand. The river's to your knees, your feet are on land. Seek I swap to believe for truth, so I try to walk without shoes. There we go. Wow. When I left the path, but they were shoes when I got back, just like new. So I scored and slipped this yesterday with all these layers. Then I can go in and adjust this shape of this after it's slipped. Clay with some sodium silicate in it, which helps it stick.
Please don't tell me to relax. He said it's only my attention that takes up the slack. Then he pointed out, showed my back, and he slipped away down a well-worn track. Seek your swap, believe for true.
Okay.
Well, maybe try a walk without shoes. They may fall apart when you leave the path, but there'll be shoes when you get back, and they might fit better when you get back home. Seek your swap, believe for true. Well, I like a walk without shoes, though they fall apart.
Cut another foot out, and after these have acclimated a couple days, I will carve these out, hollow out the feet, so they won't be solid clay like this. Get a nice layer of this clay on here. There we go. Well, these look a little big right now, but I can trim these down. Okay.
But some things are better unsaid. The songs are monotonous, and I close my eyes. I listen to my heart's content. My heart's content, it sings a ballad from her, a tune from the gods beyond.
There we go. So I'm Michael Geisert. I'm one of the members here at City Clay, Seaville, that Randy Bill set up. It's a big stoneware piece I actually did a couple years ago. It's unglazed, it's cone tin stoneware. It was done in a gas-fired kiln in Richmond. So this is kind of the style of my work. It's sort of abstract, organic type work, architectronic. And then these are some of the more recent pieces I've been doing. And this is with a patina glaze. This is a vase or a pencil holder, possibly incense. This is very similar. Yeah, this is the one I just did is a bigger version of this, and it's going to be high, up high like this, about 2 inches. And it's going to have a bit of a lip like this all the way around. This is the same kind of clay I'm working on. It's a clay called Soldate. And when it's fired, it has a bit of a yellow to it. And this has I glaze this one part in a white, one part in an aqua, and then I dip the whole thing in clear. So this is just the clay body showing through the clear. Little trays or spoon rests, something like that, or pencil holder, something like that. Something very simple. So this has been a great place for me because I was doing some work in Richmond, and then I found this place on this corner in Charlottesville, and it's really livened up this corner.
leaves best, and the chorus speaks of the triumph of love, and I listen to my heart's content. The kids on the bridge, they will carry the tune, no need for a fate. Does it for me, strip away sweet the varnish of sleep, minting, imprinting this part of me. Breakfast with you, here you go. Truth, utter nonsense, do it with me, with tethered tongue signal, splendor of sleep. Vocalize, still I cry, this part of me I know. This you know, this I know. Breakfast with you. Sunrise does it for me. Fire infused with color, dream, blazing, reglazing this part of me. Breakfast with you, here you go. Does it for me, service supreme, me suffering, sleep, feeding, indeed I am this part of me. I know, this I know, this I know. Breakfast with you. This, thank you, does it for me, sugarcane, rain, spice up the dream, addicting, uplifting this part of me. Spearmint, here you go. Sunrise, here you go. Nonsense,